Laura was abruptly awakened by a noise. She followed the sound into the living room, but found nothing. Suddenly, the lights turned on and a crowd appeared beside her. They all looked at Laura's legs. She looked down and saw a mass of small red balls flowing from her body. People began stepping on the balls, and Laura kept shouting not to step on them, but they seemed to get more excited. As they crushed the balls, Laura, in agony, crawled on the floor, trying to protect them. Then, a sharp scream pierced the air, and suddenly, Laura woke up. It had all been a dream. What was strange, though, was that the water in her bathtub was completely red. She walked into her room and found the bed soaked with water. Terrified that the scenes from her dream might become real, she lifted the blanket and saw that the small red balls from her dream were on the bed. Thinking she was still dreaming, she rushed to the mirror. To her horror, she saw a large wound on her face. Fear gripped her even more. A few days later, her boyfriend called her, but there was no answer. Deciding to check on her, David went to her house and called her name outside the door. Laura heard him and feared her appearance would frighten him, so she told him to leave immediately. Reluctantly, David walked away. He told her friend Annie about the situation, and she decided to visit Laura. When Annie arrived, she found Laura crouching on the floor and went over to comfort her, asking what had happened. Laura was too scared to speak. Annie then noticed a strange liquid nearby and was horrified. Laura explained it was from her body, and Annie, terrified, ran away. She rushed into the bathroom, but Laura pushed the door open, trying to tell Annie what was going on and begging her not to tell anyone. However, when Annie saw the surroundings, she screamed for help. Laura, afraid the neighbors might hear, immediately covered Annie's mouth. Annie struggled but couldn't break free. To Laura's shock, her hands began to mutate. Liquid started spraying from her hands and stuck to Annie's mouth. Annie desperately tried to tear it off, but Laura ended up killing her. Meanwhile, David was on his way to a bar when he saw Laura's friend Wendy. He got into her car and...
You deserve so much better.
Laura, anticipating her boyfriend's infidelity, grabbed her head in distress. Unexpectedly, Wendy drove to Laura's house. She entered the room and was horrified by the sight of the liquid. Just as she was about to run away, Laura covered her mouth, causing Wendy to faint. Days later, David realized that all three women were missing, so he went to Laura's house. When he entered the room, he saw Wendy tied up. The woman told him it was Laura who did this. David couldn't believe it. As he tried to free Wendy, Laura appeared and killed Wendy in front of him. Watching Wendy die in agony, David realized how terrifying Laura had become. As he tried to escape, Laura grabbed him by the neck, but David, using his immense strength, managed to grab a sword nearby and killed Laura.